Okay, I'm back. I got some water, my throat's feeling a little bit better, and now we're gonna make our decision. Who do we want to go with? We're trying to go for Alisa, Alisa all game, so I'm guessing I'll probably go with Alisa, and all these other ones I'll probably do by myself, like on maybe a offline playthrough, New Game Plus or something like that. So yeah, Alisa it is.
I knew it. So, I have a potential sister-in-law now, do I?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So maybe you're right, maybe I'll go ask her. I do feel kind of bad leaving you here on your own though.
I'm fine, really. Besides, if you spend all this time worrying about me, the music will be over by the time you ask.
Oh, okay.
He's such an idiot. Ah, oh, Elise. Your Highness? The generally accepted strategy here would be to keep his eyes on you, not push him toward another girl's tender embrace. If you were to only gather the courage to ask him, I'm certain that he would be more than accommodating. It's fine. I'm fine, honestly.
Alisa. Reen. Is your sister okay? Actually, she's the only reason I had the courage to come over here. Would you dance with me? What? Me? That was the idea. Is that a no? Alright, let's get a little closer to the bonfire then. Everyone's still at it.
I wish I still had that much energy left. Still, it's not like there's a lot more festival to use it on. It's strange. It feels like the whole year's been building up to this festival, but...
Yeah, it felt like it was over in a blink of an eye. Both the festival and the year as a whole.
Exactly. It won't be long until the second years graduate, and we'll be in their shoes. Time really does fly.
Yeah. It's hard to believe so many months have passed since we all met. Do you have to wonder whether any of us have gone any closer to figuring out what we're going to do with our lives.
I wish I knew. I might have looked confident when I told Mother that I'd show her how to run the company by the time I graduated. But that was in the heat of the moment. I honestly don't know whether I'd drive Reinford straight into the ground or not.
How could you know? Still,
there's one thing I do know. No matter how difficult the odds, our class always finds a way through. Growing up should be no different.
stole my line.
I think you need some new material. I'm getting used to your speeches by now. Well, that, and I believe it. I think everything is going to work out as long as our class is together. As long as you and I are together. Forget I said anything.
Alisa. Reen took Alisa's hand gently in his.
Oh.
Then let's stay together. We're still looking for our places in the world, but maybe they're right next to each other.
I hope so.
Me too. Holy cow. I think it built up. Definitely got there. After that, I went back to see Alisa, but by then, that memorable evening was approaching its end. R is for romance. Nice trophy.
Reen? Alisa?
Claire?
Good evening, Captain. You must be exhausted.
Oh, well, it's not as though I performed on stage in front of an auditorium full of people or anything. I really enjoyed your concert, by the way. That's the kind of thing that makes me proud to be an alumni.
Wait, what? You're a student here? That's right, I was part of the Academy's 216th graduating class. It makes me 5 years your senior. I had no idea. Why didn't you mention it until just now? Given that we only met while you were on your field studies, it didn't seem pertinent. Besides, once people graduate, they tend to leave their ties to their school behind, especially here at Thors. Because it's the military academy? Exactly. Roughly 40% of the graduates here go on to join the academy or the military. Not always the same branch or even the same army. About 30% join the Imperial Army, 10% go to the provincial force. Students who were best friends one day might find themselves enemies the next. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill your happy mood like this. I'm sure you're well aware what may lie ahead. That we're teetering on the brink of an era of upheaval. I'm aware. Does this have to do with the issues in Crossbell? Amongst other things, it seems as though everyone on the continent is ready to go to war with everyone else. That's why it's so important that we're able to stand strong no matter what happens. Though judging by how well Class 7 has performed in their field studies, I'm sure you'll all be fine in that regard. Here's hoping that I get the chance to help you out again sometime. Even if I'll have to be more careful not to draw the ear of the instructor of yours while I'm doing so. I'm just glad to know that you have our back. I thank you for that. You're quite welcome. What? What's going on? Are you certain of this? Understood, I'll return at once. Escorting back to Valflame Palace myself. Afraid I have to excuse myself. I'm guessing something's up. Really sorry, Alisa. My brother's requested that we return home to her right away. But as we're going back by car, I thought I'd offer you a ride home. I think you should go back with them for now. I'll call you later to make sure you're okay. Alright. Sorry to drop this on you so quickly. I'm sure someone from the academy will fill you in shortly. Fill me in? On what? You excuse us. Don't worry, we'll be sure to get Alisa back to the academy safely. Something's up, alright. I'm not sure what though. Does anyone have any idea what's going on? Afraid not, I've never seen my father behave like that before. Mother's the same way, she just got kind of message of some kind and changed. Ditto my father. Think of someone from Hunter get in touch with him. One thing is for certain, something terrible has happened. My dad turned pale and I was gone before I could ask what happened. It sounded like he received the reports from Instructor Nightheart though. Hold on, Nightheart's supposed to be? It was a guerrilla fortress. Speaking of, has anyone seen Toa or Instructor Sarah?
Students and visitors, I cannot thank you enough for your attendance today. I hereby proclaim the 127th Thors Military Academy Festival complete. But I am afraid I must announce this with a heavy heart, as we have just received word from the Imperial government that this evening, Garrelia Fortress, which rests on the eastern border of the Empire, has been destroyed.
How? How has it been destroyed? It's like a massive fortress. What's going on?
No. Destruction is an inadequate word. An unknown weapon has erased the fortress in its entirety from existence.
What? How? What's going
I
on?
would ask that all of our guests, from that region or otherwise, please try to remain calm.
Things are weird. Saturday, it's been a week. Nice transition. In the days that followed, tension gripped the nation like never before. The photo of the gaping chasm where Garrelia Fortress once stood made the Imperial Chronicles a front page. The sight of the aftermath was enough to fill the citizens with a sense of inescapable dread. All the while, unconfirmed reports that several armored divisions had attempted to invade Crossbell had begun to spread. And every one of those reports, the message was the same: they've been repelled almost effortlessly. Erebonia was starting to feel the effects of the IBC's asset freeze too. And things didn't look good for the economy. As things stood, it was only a matter of time before we faced a spike in corporate bankruptcies and record unemployment. Faced with the crisis, the Imperial government and the officials in Heimdall began working to remedy the situation. Rumours were also spreading that Erebonia's longtime enemy, the Calvard Republic, had thrown its weight behind Crossbell. And with the fortress that once served to safeguard the Empire gone, many speculated that an invasion was only a matter of time. Can't take this anymore. Where is she? Homeroom was supposed to start ages ago. I'm surprised she's late. The instructors are probably all busy trying to figure out what to do. It's more than likely this morning's meeting has already blown past its normal ending time. It's still hard for me to believe all of this is really happening. Having been there, the idea that the fortress just vanished is difficult to comprehend. All of it, I heard, there's still some parts left and almost untouched. Nighthard making it out of there alive was nothing short of a miracle. Those huge railways guns were part of the section that's gone too. I haven't seen pictures, can be hard to believe. Are weapons even capable of doing something like that? I find myself doubtful to any human could create something so powerful. All we do know is that it's impossible to make a weapon that powerful even with today's most advanced orbital technology. And yet here we are with just such a weapon in the hands of what's always been seen as a mere vassal state. The Imperial Army has their work cut out for them, I'll say that much. I'm worried about what's going on in the capital too. It sounds like there have been even more demonstrations going on there these past few days. Down with Crossbell, they say. Point our guns towards the east. there even any truth to these rumors? Pretty sure it's all nonsense, but considering how there have been tensions between us and them for years, people are just more inclined to believe it. Rumors are just that, so we need to be careful not to be misled by half-truths and speculation. If possible, we should find out exactly what's happening for ourselves. Over the year, we've seen how things are across the Empire with our own eyes. Now as good as time as any to put that knowledge to use. Well said. We have quite the education in getting the truths behind all the headlines. That seems to be the running theme of most of our field studies. Still, we seem to be missing two of our illustrious members. There's something strange about Crow's habitual truancy. Or did he already transfer back to his original class? No, he said he was going to be with us through the end of the month. As for Milliam though, I'm not sure. General Intelligence Division, do you? Well, she is an agent of theirs. Not easy to forget that, given how she usually is. It does concern me that none of us has seen her. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Instructor, we're starting homeroom. Well, today I'm afraid all classes have been cancelled. You can either stay here in this building and study until school's out, or go back to the dorm. So wait, something happened? Not yet, but it will. Osborne's going to be addressing the nation from Drykel's Plaza at noon. Broadcast across the entire Empire. A national address? Sounds pretty serious, given the timing. Indeed, it's not hard to imagine what's going on in this agenda. Straighten up, you're students of the Thors Military Academy, and that makes you all cadets. I want to act decisively in an emergency. Right now, I don't want you to look away from what's happening in the world, I want you to face it straight. Will do. As for Osborne's speech, we'll be setting up radios in each classroom so the students can listen to the national address. So you want to follow along, be sure to be back here by noon. Don't even have a radio. I do, but rather something, but for something like this, I'd rather not listen to it alone. Just haul in some beer and snacks. Stay sane for the entire broadcast. What should we do about Crow and Milliam though? Do you know where they are? I did see Milliam earlier this morning, but Crow's practically made a career out of playing hooky. She's still on campus, at least she wasn't called away. Those lines, but when I ask her, just shrugged, no news from the top. But lest you forget, she excels at giving us the runaround. At least it doesn't sound like she's in trouble. So tell them we're meeting here at noon if we run into them before then. Looks like I have some free time. William is somewhere on campus. Crow could be anywhere. Check with Toa and George first. Sure, let's go check up with Toa. Library. Toa's in the Student Union building. Let's head upstairs. I'm guessing this is pretty much building up for the second game. Here you are. Trying to figure out at the moment. You guys planning on listening to the Chancellor's statement? Or could we not? Gonna be something big. Relationship between Crossbell and Erebonia is going south like this. Sorry about that. Shouldn't cancel president. Should stay focused. We've got to focus on getting through this. I'm the only one ready to give you a hand if you need it. Right, almost forgot. Do you have any idea where Crow might have gone? Afraid not. He didn't mention that he had to go anywhere when I talked to him yesterday, at least. That was the last time. It's nice of him. They gave me everything borrowed from Angie too. Only polite to give back the stuff you borrowed in person. That was even more work for me. Keep asking around. That was like a good idea. The engineering building. think he could get much more powerful than his railway guns. I believe it myself. What the Chancellor's gonna say? It's a military academy and it seems an act of duty. You say that, George? About the future till we're here. Let me be in the down and go and listen to the broadcast and don't worry yourself too much. Ultimately, we have to say in our future. Don't look away what's happening, but we have to be aware of our present, take charge of our future. Where a crow is and shown up in class today. Never mentioned having any plans, dang. Just wandering around, I'm sure you run into him, will do. It's kind of mysterious that crow disappeared. So the old schoolhouse is next. Is he in here? Probably checking out that mech, right? Let's go on a crossbell. It's opened. It's unlocked. Wonder if someone's already inside. Take a look inside just in case. Millium, okay. Why is Millium here? Millium?
Oh, Reen! Come to take a sneak peek too?
Is this where you've been the whole time? You do know we have class, right?
Dang, I knew I was forgetting something.
So, what's piqued your interest, or piqued? Doesn't like this thing has anything in common with Aristocratum. No.
I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that it might, at least a little. Not the same, but like they share some kind of underlying principle.
Got no idea what you're talking about.
I guess you wouldn't really understand without being connected. But now it makes sense why Gramps asked me to keep an eye on this place, though. I had no idea there'd be something this cool down here.
Wait a minute, are you talking about Chancellor Osborne? Did he know there was something like this down here?
Not really sure. He just asked me to keep an eye on the building itself, and said to let him know if anything unusual happened. Whoopsie! That was supposed to be confidential.
Has an interest in our quaint old schoolhouse, does he? Did just find out Captain Claire is a Thors graduate.
Hey, what you thinking about?
Say, Millium, was investigating at the old schoolhouse the reason you enrolled at the academy?
Well, sorta, but it was more of a side thing. There was a more important reason, but that kinda stopped being a concern. So I guess it's just this now.
Something more important than this? Not sure what she's getting at. I'd hide something important from me though.
Oh yeah! It's almost time for Gramps' speech, isn't it? I guess I should head back and listen to him drone on.
So you already knew about that? We were all planning to listen in the classroom.
Sweet! I'll just listen with you guys then. What are we waiting for? Let's go!
Nothing keeps you down for long, does it? Haven't seen Crow around anywhere, have you?
Huh? Nope. Is he cutting class too?
Why is he just hiding out somewhere on campus? None of the others have seen him though. Wonder if he went into town.
Maybe. Wanna try looking around, Trista? I'll come with you.
Sounds like a good idea. If he is not on school grounds, chances are he's somewhere in town. Well, let's get out of here. Exit the old schoolhouse. Trista it is. Well, apparently I have to go to the front gates. And make our way out this way. Wow, it's eerily quiet.